some guys will take it too far and they'll say, like, it doesn't matter how much weight you lift, brother. It's like, it's all about intent. Like, no, that's totally wrong. What's correct is you have to have that intent to use that muscle that you want and push yourself really hard. People sometimes misperceive that and they get into this mode where they're like, I'm in the gym to do work. And it's like, that's totally, totally true. But it's a very focused kind of work. Now, there is a possibility there where you spend so much focus that you end up decreasing the stimulus magnitude because you're trying to get real specific. And so guys will do this thing where they're like hack squatting and they are like really connected with their quads. They're feeling everything through their quads. They're trying not to use their glutes. And then they end up taking half of the weight off the bar and kind of doing this almost art where they're moving and slowly and controlling and grooving. And they rack and they're like, man, I felt that in my quads. Like, that's cool. That's cool. But you can also feel your bicep contracting if you curl it against zero resistance just by yourself. I feel it. I feel that more than I'll feel it when I'm curling. The problem is feeling is dope if the feeling opens up your ability to torch the living shit out of that muscle. But if the torching competes with the feeling, you have a problem. So some guys will take it too far and they'll say, like, it doesn't matter how much weight you lift, brother. It's like, it's all about intent. Like, no, that's totally wrong. What's correct is you have to have that intent to use that muscle that you want and push yourself really hard. That's tough. It's super counterintuitive to athletes because they're like, well, I push, then I just do what I do. It's like, no, you have to pay attention to what's going on and do what you do. And they're like, whoa, that's tough. Because a lot of people will say, oh, like a mind muscle connection, and they'll curl, like really feel it. And they're like, yeah, I'm bodybuilding. Like, nope, not you. There was like 10 reps away from failure. You're lifting half the weight you normally could. You have to, and this is a learned skill that takes a long time, is you have to learn how to try really, really hard in that narrow window of the technique that activates the muscles you want the most for them to be a limiting factor. The way that I've architected this kind of theoretically in bodybuilding long-term development is through three phases, three stages of training. Stage one is the beginner stage, where you're not even trying to train hard. You're just getting the technique down. Like if you don't know, then CrossFitters are already easy because they already know good technique. Like if I tell a CrossFitter, how do you squat? They know how to do a high bar squat and they do it really, really well. That's for beginners. First couple of years of your training career, just do the technique well, and put on weight on the bar when you could do the good technique. If the weight's too heavy to do good technique, take some weight off the bar. You're gonna, you guys know, like first 2-3 years of your career, you get stronger anyway. Guys are obsessed, like, how can I get the strongest in a year? Like, the hell is wrong with you? Who gives a shit? So first is build the base of technique. Then intermediate stage, roughly 3 to 7 years through your bodybuilding career, is to try to keep that good technique. But then in the context of that good technique, push yourself really hard. So you have two rules. Rule 1, push hard. Rule 2, never deviate from good technique. In your advanced era, 7 years plus of training, is when you start to really lean in to the mind-muscle connection, to connecting with your muscles, feeling out where stuff is going. Do I need to tweak my elbows a little bit this way to feel my pecs more, a little bit this way? That's extra super bonus points that rests on two big ideas. One is you have a fundamental basis of really good technique already. 2 is you're going real hard. 3 is now you're using that internal cueing and perception. If I take a person off the street and I try to take them through a Hani Rambod workout where that requires mind-muscle connection, it's a non-starter. 1 out of every 100 people just has fucking raw talent and they can just do it. Most people just can't do it. It's tough for even CrossFitters. Look, CrossFitters know how to train with good technique. They know how to go hard. Holy crap. But that mind-muscle connection stuff, they basically enter bodybuilding as advanced people already, or the beginning of advanced. And then it takes them weeks and weeks and months and years to connect with the muscle, to make sure that the way they're doing it is the muscle, not just, oh, it's the movement. And, oh yeah, I guess I have lats. I hope they're active. I know I did 10 pull-ups. So that's definitely a big deal, but there's levels to it and there's nuance to it. And it's one of those one does not simply kind of things. And a lot of people try to coach beginners through the mind-muscle connection. It is a grotesque waste of time.
Man, I love hearing you talk about all this stuff because I feel like I've experienced it in my training, especially very recently. Like I've really kind of like tried to implement this stuff probably for like, I don't know, I want to say like 2.5 years now. It all kind of started when I knew I was going to be a dad. And just now do I feel like I'm actually starting to feel some of those things. And that's how long it's taken. Like it's literally 2.5 years. And just now, like little things click of like, oh, bent over row, if I'm pulling more towards my belly button versus my shoulder, which I always used to do, because then I could do the heavier dumbbell, I actually finish the set and I don't feel the pump or here. It's literally in my lat.
Yes.
And it's just, it's so fascinating how it takes slowing things down and going less weight. But to your point, I can 100% see how you can swing too far in that direction. And now you're doing not significant weight. Sure, you can feel your lat working, but is it working enough? Which I think is, I think that a lot of people plateau, specifically people that go from like CrossFit style training to then, okay, I want to put on muscle, do this bodybuilding type stuff. I think that people really underestimate how hard you have to work to put on muscle, especially because, like you said, someone that's been doing CrossFit is already going in as a kind of like already intermediate advanced lifter. Like the amount of work that it takes and how much intentionality, but also effort needs to be in those working sets, I think is very easy to underestimate, especially when, there isn't like a leaderboard or a time to beat that's like very easy for you to be like, well, my friend got faster, so I got fitter. There is no black and white thing in this type of training, because even if you do a heavier weight this week than you did last week, but to your point, the technique broke down a little bit, you're not actually progressing the way that you want to progress to put on muscle. So I love hearing you talk about this stuff, because I feel like it's exactly where I'm kind of now with my training.
I love it. One of the things in the RP Hypertrophy app, through which I train and a ton of folks that we work with train, it actually asks you like, how are your pumps? And then it asks you, how sore are you in this muscle from the last time you trained it? Because if you target the muscle well and go hard, you get nasty pumps, nastier pumps, and nastier soreness after. If you don't go hard enough, you get less of both. If you don't target well, you get less of both. So through pumps and soreness and other subjective metrics, you can start to become aware of like, ooh, I did the work in the last workout, but my lats didn't really get sore. Next time I'm going to focus on my lats a bit more and do that fucking blowtorch method of just lighting them on fire. You do that and you're like, holy shit. The next day you're like, oh my God, my lats are sore. Like, boom, mission accomplished. How could your lats not have been stimulated if they got sore? Something happened there. So a lot of people with muscle groups that are weaker for them are also people that can't connect with their muscles as much. You get to train your biceps, they just don't really ever seem to get pumped or sore or anything. What the fuck am I doing wrong? And then the guy who has 24-inch arms next to you, he does one curl. He's like, oh, I can't move my arm, I pump. You're like, damn it. So you'll tend to see this like even within a single individual, muscles that they can really connect with and really go hard into with good activation, which is a learned skill. Even between their different muscles of the body, your more gifted muscles will just do the work and take over and take all the strain. You ever see people with big ass quads? When they squat, you're like, I can tell you that's all quads. And that's not by accident. It's usually their quads are so dominant. They're like, hey, we'll take care of this. Whereas people with smaller quads, your body's trying to do the work. So it goes, okay, our quads, they suck. Let's let the glutes do most of the work. It's like giving the offensive lineman the ball and be like, just pound through the line and just go and put the fucking ball down. Like, don't we have running backs? Like, yeah, but they all suck. So it's on you now. So like people with huge glutes and small quads saying, man, I can't get my quads to go. Like, that's a serious problem that's going to take some effort to try to resolve. And it's always going to be a battle. You have to fight a little bit. Muscles that are genetically gifted for you, they're like, dude, like if you have big forearms, you do dumbbell presses and you're like, oh my God, I have forearm pump. Like, no, I can tell you, Jared Feather, one of my best friends and a colleague, our IFBB pro coach here at RP, he has like some of the world's nastiest calf genetics, where it's just calves are just nonsense. He did calves like once in his life, I think. He trained calves with like 3 sets of 10, and he was sore for 2.5 weeks. Like, they're not supposed to happen. And he walks around and he'll get a calf pump. And you're like, okay, this whole mind muscle connection just comes easier to your calves. Whereas for his back or for his biceps, it's tougher. So it's on him to try to do in his body what we've been talking about now, is really combine that laser focus with that intensity. One or the other is easy to do. Both at the same time, holy crap. So those two things, using good technique and making sure not to overdo the weekly volume is a big deal. Another one is, if you've taken some time off or away, ramp slowly back into your normal volumes and loads. Don't be like, oh, I'm like 2 weeks. I was traveling with my wife. Japan is a really fun country. Now I'm coming back to training. 5x5, fucking right into the teeth with my best lifts ever. That's how you get hurt. You got to roll into the shit slowly. And if it sucks, yeah, like you don't want to be patient. You don't want to do 2 sets of squats today. You want to do 5, but do 2 sets today. Next week, do 3. The week after, do 4. And then you get to go back to 5. You're going to get great gains and you're not going to snap your shit in half. So from a training perspective, those are kind of the big recommendations. Another one is like, overall sleep and stress management is a big deal. Sleep is when your body does most of its healing. So if you're not getting sufficient sleep of high quality, you need to handle that shit because that's how you're going to heal. As far as supplements, there are no empirically validated supplements for joint health that just don't exist. Now, that means some supplements can be good for joint health, but we just don't have the scientific veracity to be like, yes, these are for sure good for you. Like collagen, for example, a lot of studies say it works. Industry funded studies, a lot of non-industry funded studies say it might not work at all to do anything that you think it does. So it's kind of like, oh, God damn it. Like I thought collagen was cool for a few months and then the other studies came out. And I was like, fuck. So there's not any supplements like, hey, real talk, like pharmaceutical grade growth hormone will heal every fucking injury you've ever had. And it'll heal injuries in the future you didn't even know you're going to have. But like that can't exactly recommend that to guys. It's like, it's not something you go to your doctor unless you're like HIV positive or whatever. Like I need more vials of Serostim. He's like, you got it. So that shit really works, but not exactly over the counter. So the sleep, good stress management, really good technique, progressing into loads really well, and not overtraining and overreaching chronically is just like, that's what is going to make you the most injury resistant you can. And that's a big deal because first of all, shit really works. And second of all, it's not some shit you typically hear from people in the space, because when guys want to hear like what's going to keep me low risk and injury free and recovery, they want some weird mobility protocol, which by the way, full range of motion lifting is that protocol. So you don't have to get on the fucking Bosu ball, do dumb shit like that. And they want supplements. Guys want supplements. So what pill do I take to prevent injury? Well, motherfucker, guess what? When we have one of those, I'll be singing its praises on YouTube every fucking day. I want that pill. It just does not exist. So it really comes down to managing your training intelligently, knowing when to push the gas slowly and knowing when to back off. It's really similar to how you would take care of a car. Imagine you like have a Lambo in your garage. You haven't driven it in 2 weeks. You don't really know if the oil levels or whatever are checked. You get in, you start it, and you just get out in the street and slam it, floor it, crank the gears. Like someone who's going to be like, are you sure about this? You're like, yeah, fuck it. Your Lambo's going to break. You're like, yeah, whatever, I'm rich. But the thing is, you can buy spare Lambo parts. You can't buy a spare elbow yet. So you got to treat your body like a very exotic car. You're going to ease the shit into it. You're going to figure out how it's working. You're going to read all the dials. When the dials are in the red line, you got to back up. A lot of the stuff that gets people hurt, guys, it's just ego. Like, all right, I wanted a good workout on Thursday, but like my knee kind of hurts and it kind of hurt last week and now it hurts a little worse. Fuck it. Heavy metal in the fucking headphones, squats. Let's do it. Oh shit, my knee. A lot of times it's like, okay, today is not the day to draw the sword. Today I do some lighter loads. I do a different exercise. I take the rest of the weekend off. I come back in with squats and I start building up slowly. And then, hey, you may never get hurt doing that. Is it as glorious? No. Does it work? Yeah, hell yeah, it works.
Yeah. One of the things that I heard you say on one of the podcasts I listened to prepping for this was just that consistency is the most important piece that is just missing from people at Plateau. And I think that, everything you just talked about with injury prevention just plays into that, because if you, step back far away enough, it's consistency over, the year, over 5 years, over 3 years. And you're going to be so much more consistent if you didn't go super hard for 60 days even, but then, banged up your knee or for whatever reason got burnt out, and then you took another 30 days off. The person that's, taking it nice and easy, striking when the iron's hot, taking it easy when they need to, but they train very consistently for 3 years, is going to way outdo the progress that you're doing by going hot and cold. So I think that's the best advice out there. Yeah.
I love it. To that point, on consistency, to me, consistency, if you don't have it, I'm going to say this comedically. I don't really mean this, but like, I'm just not interested in talking to you about any other fitness questions you have.
Yeah.
Because like, you're not going to do it. It gives a shit. Like you guys like, yeah, I've been lacking a little consistency lately, but like, what's the best exercise for chest? Like, oh yeah, I looked it up. It's go fuck yourself. It's a great exercise. It's super fun, but it's like, dude, what are you talking about? Why don't you start training your chest week on, week out? And then once you get a good roll going, then you can start to ask questions of like, what specifically do I do? You know what I mean? You gotta have consistency is the baseline for everything. And when guys are inconsistent, it's like, if you don't believe in yourself to show up, why am I going to spend my breath talking to you about like what you should be doing? You don't even train, bro. Like, it's like someone asking you like at a party just for fun. I get it. But someone asking you like, hey, what's like the best move in jiu-jitsu? Like, do you do jiu-jitsu? Like, no. How do you even understand my answer? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.